What's going on, world? It's your boy Gemini Brown here, back with another episode of Nalo Kicking Knowledge. Today, we'll be discussing why the moon in your chart is the key to your transformation. Okay? So, let's get into it. Now, I really enjoy being an astrologer, not just for the benefits that I gain for myself, but for the simple fact that, I get to help others, And if you don't know, I'm a Virgo moon, and Virgo is the sign of service. So to some extent, I gain peace of mind from being of service, And there's so many other things that go along with my moon sign and things like that. And through a lot of, honestly, being an astrologer is about observation. We're observing the cycles of the stars and their effects that they have in a multitude of ways on, human psychology, interaction, as well as like world events. So through my time of studying astrology, I never really felt like there was a most important planet, because I believe different planets are going to play different roles in the person's journey and of course in different areas of life. But I do know now enough to know that the moon is, very important in terms of transformation. And one of the major sayings in astrology is to know thyself. And that's what this is really about. You study your chart so you understand your strengths, your weaknesses, and just overall purposes, okay? And how to best play up to your energy. That's how I, try to teach astrology and use it for myself. So with today, the thing that I really, want to stress to you guys is that the moon, let's take a look at it. The moon is your inner self, your subconscious self, okay? So that planet, that particular energy, it represents who you are at a core level. So not everyone gets to see your moon and the tendencies connected towards that. It's a point of how we self-identify, okay? And it is a comfort zone. And this is evidenced by the moon being ruled by Cancer, which is a sign of nurturing. When you nurture something, you provide it with comfort, and being nurtured, provides us with that too, as well as, a sense of security, right? And that is really what a home is. Fourth house, your home is your place of security, okay? So all of this is represented, by the moon. So always keep in mind, we, within astrology, with each, house having a ruler, when you're trying to examine this particular aspect, you have to look at not only the planet, but the condition of that house, okay? So, using myself as another example, Virgo moon, and my fourth house is in the sign of Sagittarius, okay? So then this is where we start combining things to really understand ourselves. So I already told you that, being of service, brings me, peace of mind, okay? Another thing that brings me, peace of mind, and that I would say I really, require is freedom, evidenced by Sagittarius, okay? Now, when we really start to examine a person's psychology, right? And my fourth house being in Sagittarius, we can really read as like, okay, is this a person who would necessarily want to spend their whole life in their immediate neighborhood, okay? The fact that, Sagittarius represents, adventure, and is a mutable sign, which is about flexibility, we could read here that like, okay, depending on where the person's Jupiter is, maybe the person's Jupiter is in a fixed sign, right? So the person could, like to explore and take in, go on long trips, right? But they are fixed within, their connection towards home, okay? And if that Jupiter is in a mutable sign, that can show that this person would definitely, or maybe a cardinal sign, would want to establish, a new place of home, for themselves, okay? So, like I said, you always want to keep in mind not only the sign of the particular house, and in this case we're talking about the fourth house, but you want to look at the depositor, the ruler of that house, and how it's being affected, okay? So, fourth house and the moon is representing home, comfort, and here's the biggest thing. The biggest thing you want to really keep in mind with your moon and then your fourth house. Conditioning. Second house sextiles the fourth house. The fourth house is, the second house is the house of values, right? This shows that your home life, right? Your mother, okay, your family, your roots are going to play a part in your values, right? Now, here's the psychological aspect of it. The moon is moldable. The subconscious mind is moldable. It's naturally submissive, okay? So, whether you're aware of it or not, the first 7 years of your life, up until you have that first Saturn square, you're being conditioned. Your mind is on autopilot. It is literally soaking up all of the information in your environment. It's trying to figure out how to adapt, or to some extent, it's creating programs for itself. Okay? So let me give an example, and another reason why this video came to fruition was Jaden Smith just celebrated his birthday. He's a Cancer with a Capricorn moon, okay? So I'm not sure of his rising sign, but just looking at that, to some extent, right? And we all know a little bit about Jaden Smith, the son of Will and Jada. In his early life, he was conditioned for success, conditioned for achievement. He was given those values that you can do what you want within this world, and he had his parents as examples, okay? And if you don't know who I'm talking about, this young man starred in a movie at the age of 5 with his father, okay? So what happens is, in those, like I said, those first 7 years of life, you're soaking up the energy of your surroundings. If you're coming from a very disciplined environment, you yourself are naturally going to be conditioned to be hard on yourself. Okay? So, like I said, if you could go back and really put yourself in your childhood, and that's the next thing. The moon represents the past, right? Because our past determines who we are now, okay? And there's also a past life influence connected to the moon. It shows where we were within our past lives, and the things that come sort of unconsciously, or with the habits and things that we project subconsciously, okay? So go back and see how your early conditioning has played a part into your positive and negative traits. Now, here's the key thing of why the moon is the key to your transformation. And I said that it's easily moldable. It accepts direction. It is submissive. Okay? The moon is the key to your transformation is because through your habits, through your conditioning, your reality is created. So I would suggest really going to look at the aspects towards your moon. Okay, these are going to show you vital themes that play out. Okay, for instance, if you have Mars square your moon, you early on in life, this can indicate that, you know, your early surroundings were somewhat combative. You know, you witnessed a lot of arguing. So to some extent, subconsciously, you attract this type of energy. That is a manifestation of your subconscious mind. Okay, it's bringing you feel like in close relationships, because you're used to seeing that, you know, that it's a place where you have to fight. Okay, you have to fight to be heard. You have to fight to express your emotions. Okay, or you're just gonna naturally have this aggression when it comes towards that area of life. Okay, and a lot of times if you go back, you'll see where this was within your past. Now, okay, let's say you have your moon trine Neptune. Now, trines are areas of energy that easily flows, okay? Whereas the square was something that was, it creates difficulty, okay? So let's say your moon is trine Neptune. This is an aspect that you'll find 9 times out of 10 when a person has this, they are an artist of some sort. They can gather their emotions and channel it into creating some type of art, okay, or creative expression. This is because that channel easily flows. So even if the person is, whatever they go through emotionally, they'll always be able to channel that in that direction. It also shows that this person is naturally attuned towards following spirituality. It'll be easier for them to catch on to certain spiritual concepts and things like that, and that brings them peace of mind. Now, going back to the square, right, the moon square Mars example, right, what happens here is that this is a natural thing that your subconscious mind is producing. It keeps bringing you these situations in order for you to make a change in the approach, okay? So it's about, like I said, identifying your habits. Because of that, you know, early imprint of maybe feeling like you always have to defend yourself, you are naturally defensive, okay? But it's up to you to recognize that you always go to this place. And normally we don't recognize it until we meet somebody who kind of displays the opposite of that energy. So running with the same example, you may connect, you know, intimately, or, you know, have a friend that is very peaceful, and you have your first disagreement, and you realize they aren't bringing the combative energy. In this case, it is me. You reverted back to your natural instinct. Okay, so understand what I'm saying here. The subconscious mind is programmed to bring you situations, right, that reflect that energy or that imprint of what it learned early on. But at the same time, you're going to recognize when you're exhibiting or expecting this behavior. Then it is up to you to, this is the sun part, the conscious. It is up to you to make a conscious decision to change this behavior. And we now live in a world where there's so many things, like here on YouTube, where you can go and, you know, learn about affirmations, you know, learn about, hypnotherapy, or, you know, binaural beats, right? So then this is where Saturn comes in. In order to really manifest a change, you have to put in the work, okay? So the moon is really the key to it, because we're all aware of ourselves and our inner nature. There are gonna be times where, most of the time, we're on autopilot, and this is why, I think Eckhart Tolle or something like that, he wrote the book The Power of Now. When you live within the now and you use the conscious mind to fully, you know, make the changes, like to be aware of the subconscious habits, you're able to evoke change. And then from there, you have to consciously integrate that change until the subconscious mind accepts it, which it will. Okay? So I just wanted to make this video because it's weighing on my spirit, and the more I do readings with people, the more I'm realizing that a lot of their issues in life are presented or are developed early within, their life, and they're stuck in that conditioning pattern. Okay? So, like I said, take a look at your moon as well as your fourth house planets. Okay? If you have Saturn in your fourth house, this shows that, your early home environment may have been one where you didn't get fully emotionally nourished, or you could have had come from a pessimistic family that was quite negative. So subconsciously, you have a tendency to think negative. To overcome this, you have to make a conscious effort to be more positive, to focus on the good. Okay, so all in all, what I'm saying here, I'm letting you know is that our minds, our moons work in a way like a program. They're just certain things. So pay attention to the aspects, right? So you want to look at the moon, you want to look at planets within the fourth house, you want to look at the ruler of the fourth house and how it's positioned in aspected. This is going to give you a large indication of your strengths and weaknesses, and then from there the work just has to be put in. All right, so focus, especially because it's Cancer season and it's it's an energy of like being in the past. Focus on living in the now. That is where real change occurs. Okay, so this is my episode for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to give me some feedback. Let me know what you think. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, feel free to do so. If you need a reading, holla at me. Till next time, peace.